Good luck.
Goodbye, Mrs. Talbot. We will. All the best.
Goodbye, Mrs. Talbot. It was an honor working for you. Thanks again for the clock. Are you sure you won't take it with you?
Quite sure. I don't need it where I'm going. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Bye.
You silly twit!
Better a silly twit than a bloody maniac.
Oh, get off the road.
You get off the road. You're not fit to drive.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. My name is Talbot. I'm meeting Sir Richard Taft.
Sir Richard's waiting. This way.
Am I late?
No. No, I was early.
Would Madam like me to take up answer?
No.
To me.
Are we going to have a drink before lunch?
I've ordered one. It's just coming.
Good, I need it.
Why, what's wrong?
No, nothing. Just one of my customary rows with a reckless driver.
I might have known. Cheers. Better?
I've been trying to do without.
Oh, come on. Everyone's allowed a last cigarette.
Not a firing squad, you know.
Seems to be.
How clever of you to think of this.
I wanted somewhere very special for today.
Aren't you going to open your present?
There's no need to. I know what it is. It's the little sizzly landscape, isn't it? The one you always kept just opposite your desk. Burning your boats, eh?
I thought it was burning your bridges or cities or something.
It's madness, you know. It's a desperate mistake, the whole incredible business.
If I'd known you were going to start that again, I'd never have come. You promised you wouldn't.
I'm sorry. It's just that. Do you realize I may never see you again after today?
That was your decision. You know you're welcome to visit me.
No. No, I shall never change my mind about that. It doesn't make any sort of sense to me. It isn't natural.
Natural.
Not for you. You worked hard to get where you are. You worked bloody hard, and now simply to chuck it away.
I'm not chucking it away. I'm closing the account, that's all. Moving on.
Running, you mean?
Yeah, running if you like. But towards, not from.
Not even from me.
Especially not from you. You're one of the only things I'll miss.
Did you ever love me, Phil? Really love me?
Enough to want something better for you.
Better than what?
Than the life you'd have had with me. Just possible I'd be leaving you today in any case. At least this way you have Kate to go home to.
Do I?
You have the children.
Yes. Yes, I have the children.
Thank you. Thank you for understanding, and thank you for not giving up on me.
Oh, Phil. I hope you're doing the right thing.
Bumble. Bumble. Mr. Bumble, if you please. That's enough of that. Yes, do tidy your whiskers. One wants to make a good impression on the first day. You and I both. Mrs. Fraser.
Hello.
Mr. Bumble has arrived.
Oh, lovely. Do come in.
No, I can't, thanks. My train.
Oh, yes, of course.
You're sure? This is going to be all right?
Oh, quite sure. The children are terribly excited. They adore him, as you know.
He's ridiculously lovable.
Look here, are you absolutely sure?
Absolutely.
No, I mean, sure you wouldn't rather leave him with some friend?
No, I read somewhere that cats care more about places than people. Moving, apparently, is more of a wrench to them than losing the odd owner. I must go. My taxi's waiting.
Mrs. Talbot?
Hmm?
There's something I want to say to you. I'm sorry we've never got past the stage of Mrs. Talbot and Mrs. Fraser. It seems absurd when you think how long we've been neighbors.
Yes, I know. You mustn't blame yourself. It was me.
Look, I'd always
Honestly,
hoped
I'm
that...
sorry.
Look, won't you at least tell me where you're going?
When I'm settled in, I'll send you my address, and perhaps you'll write and give me news of Bumble. Goodbye.
Yes, of course I will. Goodbye.
Excuse me.
Can I help you with that?
No, thank you. I'm not going very far.
No, tomorrow.
Excuse me.
What'll it be, dear?
Have a large whiskey, please.
Radio. Don't think I've seen you in here before, have I?
No, he wouldn't have done. But I've 10 muffins. Make it 20. And some matches. Thank you.
same again?
No, thank you. Three's enough. Have I paid all I owe?
You have?
Thank you. Goodbye.
Hey, you forgot these.
Yes, I know.
Giving up smoking?
Benedicite.
Oh, it's you. Come in.
What do you ask?
To try my vocation as a Benedictine in this House of Brede.
We're glad to receive you into the family of our Holy Father, St. Benedict. Come in, child. This is a very poor welcome, I'm afraid. Normally, Lady Abbess would be here to receive you with her council, but she's too weak to leave her bed today, and the whole house is in a turmoil.
I knew she was feeling ill the last time I saw her. Is she much worse?
Much worse. All morning she's been saying, I must get up. I must be there to meet Philippa when she comes.
She's the main reason for my coming. But for her encouragement, I shouldn't be here at all. Can I see her, do you think? Just for a moment.
Later on, perhaps. Just now, the community is waiting for you in the choir. Sister Jane will take your case. I remember a gentleman, a very renowned author, who came to visit Lady Abbess some years ago and completely misunderstood what we mean when we say an enclosed order of nuns. All these bolted doors, he said, all this grill work like bars. It's like a prison. Lady Abbess corrected him very gently. No, she said, the grill is to keep the world out, not to keep us in. It's like a power plant. You put a wall around it so that nothing and no one can interfere with its functioning.
Good evening, Philippa. Dame Catherine. Welcome to Brede. Thank you. Dame Agnes.
Philippa, welcome.
Lady Abbess is sorry she couldn't come down to greet you. Dame Emily said I might see her later. Do you think I could?
See her? Tonight?
I should like to.
She's sleeping now. God be praised.
Perhaps tomorrow. Meanwhile, Dame Agnes and I are not far away if you should need us. You know the way. Yes. Thank you, Dame Catherine. Dame Agnes.
I warned, Mother. I said she's too old, for a start. Think of what she's seen and done at her age. Things we know nothing about. I was barely 18 when I came to Brede, and completely innocent.
I'm sure Mother knows what she's about.
Well, I hope so. Woman like that, company director, whatever she's called. Widow. What on earth is she doing here? What does she want?
Dear Lord, you brought me this far. Help me. Help me to stay. Philippa, wake up. It's Dame Catherine, mistress of novices. Dame Catherine, I'm sorry. Philippa, there's something I must tell you. Aren't we breaking silence? We are allowed to speak in the case of a grave emergency. Lady Abbess, she's dying, Philippa. Mother is dying. Get dressed quickly. She wants to see you.
She's sinking. We mustn't burden her with anything more.
Mother, can you hear? Here's your new daughter. Come to pay her respects. It's Philippa, Mother. Philippa Talbot. I'm finally here. I didn't think it would ever happen, but it has. Thanks to you. Please get well. She didn't know me. She didn't hear.
exalts himself will be humbled, and he who humbles himself will be exalted. In saying this, it points out to us that all exalting of ourselves is a form of pride. This the prophet shows he is on guard against when he says, "Lord, my eyes are not raised too high."
found this place, have you? Yes. It's my retreat. It was mine 2 years ago. Was it? If you'd rather be alone. No. No. I heard your voice as I came up. Thought you might be praying. No. Not exactly. I was thinking. It's a sort of chain, isn't it? Grief, I mean. Last night in my cell, I was weeping for Mother. For Lady Abbess. Suddenly, it was my own mother I was weeping for. Remembering her death. And all the other deaths. I was weeping for everyone I'd ever loved and lost. It was the same grief for all. Exactly the same. You lost your mother recently, did you? Years ago, when I was 17 in Japan. In Japan? My father was in the diplomatic service. We lived out there for years.
And you speak Japanese.
I do, actually. I've always been particularly interested in the Orient. Have you been there?
Good heavens, I've never been east of Dover.
Shall I tell you what Lady Abbess told me once when she found me up here, in my first days, feeling desperately alone? She said it's a charming view, of course, but it's the wrong perspective. When everything seemed too much for you, go down to the bottom of the garden and turn and look back up here at Brede, riding against the sky like a great proud ship. And think of all of us within, your sisters. Think of those who were here 100 years ago, and those who will be here 100 years from now. This long, unbroken line of care and companionship. And then think of all those in the world who have nothing and no one, who are truly alone. It will comfort you. You see, grief isn't the only chain. There are others. To the bottom of the garden. God, I wouldn't give her a cigarette.
Dame Emily. A new abbess is certain to be Dame Emily. I'd rather Dame Mora. We mustn't underestimate our own Dame Agnes. Dame Emily has the experience, and Dame Mora has the right qualities. But Dame Agnes is the one who wants it.
I am pleased to announce that on the 7th ballot, we at last have a 2/3 majority. There is an election. Reverendissima Domna Caterina Isme, abbetissa electa est.
Te Deum laudamus. Te Deum convitemus. Te Deum
gracias.
Never did you, babe?
Oh, come in, Philippa. Take this along to Dame Edith in the printing shop. See if she can make sense of these figures.
Mother,
Do get up. I'm not quite ready for all this yet.
it's a great honor. Aren't you excited?
Stunned would be a better word.
You're the right choice.
Uncompromised choice. My name wasn't even on the first ballot.
I can't tell you how pleased I was when I heard it was you and not Dame Agnes. It's good to know I have a special friend in these rooms again.
There's only one special friend here in this house for any of us. Thou shalt love the Lord thy God with all thy heart, with all thy soul, and with all thy mind. This is the first and great commandment.
This is my commandment. That ye love one another as I have loved you.
As I have loved you. That says it all, doesn't it? Because he loves us equally, all in the same degree.
Can you do that? Care for all of us equally without any sort of natural preference?
I must. It's my duty.
And must I be as fond of Dame Agnes as I am of you? Dame Agnes and all those chattering girls in the novitiate.
If only you could.
I can't.
I said if only you could. It would be quite something, wouldn't it?
I'm so afraid of failing.
So am I. It isn't going to be easy for either of us. But I can tell you this much. Before long, your 6 months as a postulant will be over. And things will begin to look much brighter to you once you're closed as a novice. Makes all the difference when you put on the habit. That's the time when Brede begins to feel like home.
What do you ask?
The mercy of God and the grace of the holy habit.
Do you ask it with your whole heart?
Yes, my lord, I do.
God grant you perseverance, my daughter. Veni Creator Spiritus, Mentes tuorum visitor, in resto per gratia, quae tu creasti pectorum.
Perseverance.
From the day you're clothed to the day you take your temporary vows will be 1 year exactly. You'll rank as a junior then, and exchange the white veil for a short black one. Simply a matter of time before Sister Philippa becomes Dame Philippa. 3 years of work and prayer and study until you take your solemn vows, and Brede becomes your home forever.
Finished already, Sister Philippa?
Yes, Dame.
Well, there's nothing unusual about that. You're always finished before anybody else. Those of you who are not so bright and clever as your sister may stop now and continue tomorrow. The new postulant will be arriving shortly, and we must assemble in the choir to greet. Sister Philippa, would you wait a moment, please? I think this little game has gone on long enough, haven't you? Twice a week, ever since you entered, you have attended my Latin classes in the hope that you might learn something from me. And I have held my tongue, although I knew from the start that you had taken first in languages at Oxford.
But I have learned something. Liturgical Latin is different to what we were taught.
Come, sister. You're quibbling.
Not at all. It's been very useful to me in any way. I enjoy study. I always have.
A suspicious nature might think that you come here in order to avoid the hard work that needs doing elsewhere.
I have never avoided hard work, Dame.
No, of course not. And in future, you will have 2 extra hours for it each week. The point is, I don't want you in my class anymore. In my opinion, it's a waste of my time and yours. Is that clear?
I should think it was quite clear.
Good. You may go and join your sisters.
You're dragging me to...
Yes?
What do you ask?
To come in.
Child, kneel down.
Oh, I'm sorry, Lady Abbess.
Now, what do you ask?
To try my vocation as a Benedictine in this House of Brede.
Come in. In God's name, we are glad to welcome you to his house.
You don't remember me, do you? Well, that's all right. I remember you perfectly. You still look so awfully sad. Well, you mustn't, you know, not anymore. You must say to yourself, things are looking up. Joanna is here. I'm sorry. So this is where you've got to. I've looked everywhere. It's a bit of a grind just at first, isn't it? You can talk to me now, you know. It's all right. It's the recreation hour. Everyone's talking like mad all over the place.
I must finish filing these.
Well, I'll help, shall I? This way we'll be through in half the time, and then we can have a walk in the garden. It's such a beautiful afternoon. The sun has come out. It doesn't matter, you know, that you don't remember me. You needn't feel at all embarrassed.
I assure you I don't. I'm certain we've never met.
Oh, yes. Although I expect I've changed quite a lot in 4 years.
4 years?
Almost 4. We met in the village. I come from the village, you know. I've spent my whole life in the shadow of this house. I always knew I'd live there one day.
I don't know anyone in the village.
It was the day you came to Brede. You walked up Yeoman's Row carrying your case. Don't you remember that?
Yes.
There was a boy who offered to help you with it.
Yes. I believe there was, but...
And there were some others standing with him. There was a girl you couldn't get past because the pavement was so narrow, and you said, "Excuse me." And just for a moment, you and she looked at each other.
And that was...
That was Joanna. You've done it again.
Done what?
Look, that funny way you did when I said my name to you in the hall. Don't you like the name Joanna? It's my very favourite name. It always has been. My real name is Elspeth, but I hate that. My mother adores it, of course, but then she makes a point of liking everything I hate and hating everything I like. Well, you can imagine how thrilled I was when Lady Abbess told me they'd agreed on the name Joanna for me. I should feel dreadful if I thought it was a name you absolutely loathed.
I don't loathe it. It's my favourite name, too.
Is it? Oh, I am glad. It was the oddest thing when you went past that day. I watched you turn the corner, and I knew for certain that you were coming here. That it was your first day. And I thought, how marvellous. Well, she can't know, but in a few years' time, I'll be going up there too. And we'll see each other. We'll see each other for the rest of our lives. And I thought about you every day after that. You think I'm mad, don't you?
No, I'm not mad.
A silly child, then.
Child, perhaps.
Do you like children? I said, shh. Tomorrow? Please?
Thought it was an angel. You may be right, sister. Who is it?
One of the new postulants. Her name is,
Joanna.
Joanna, yes. How fitting that she's come so near to Christmas.
Beautiful child. Beautiful voice.
A gift from God.
Beg your pardon.
The name Joanna means a gift from God. A precious gift from God.
Is she there?
Was addressing my Christmas cards. Oh, he's beautiful.
He's getting rather fat in his old age. I expect he's eating too much.
Well, we'll soon put a stop to that.
How?
I'll bring him here and give him a taste of Dame Bernarda's cooking.
Dreadful.
Not as dreadful as her cooking. I can't realize how many months have passed. I can't think that it's June already, except that the flowers outside my window insist that it is. Dearest Daddy, they remind me of you and how we tended the garden together at home. And now I must break off momentarily, as I have an interview with Lady Abbess promptly at 4.
Dear gracias.
Benedicite?
Come in, Joanna.
Is something wrong?
I should say something is right. My dear child, we have received you for clothing.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
On Sunday week, with the bishop officiating, you will become Sister Joanna.
I can't realize it.
Dear gracias.
Benedicite, Mother. A visitor for you. He's waiting in the parlor.
Ah, good. I've been expecting him. Yoshio Paul Katsuki, President Katsuki Oil Company, Tokyo.
Lady Abbess. Esteemed Council.
This is the day the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad.
Is it?
Yes. Yes, it's yes.
I told you so. Congratulations.
Oh, I knew you'd be waiting here. Our place.
Tell me. Tell me everything.
Let me get my breath.
She began by saying, my dear child.
Yes. Did she say the same to you?
I believe it's the same speech for everyone. There are no favorites.
It was the most beautiful speech I ever had.
I thought so too. I'm so proud of you, Sister Joanna.
There's something I have to tell you. Oh, blast!
Tell me later.
No. Now. Please.
Silence. You mustn't.
Oh, I must. I want to. I never once called Lady Abbess Mother as we're supposed to. I never said Benedicite Mother or thank you, Mother.
Why not?
I couldn't.
But why?
You know why? You.
No.
Yes.
But you have a mother down there in the village.
Oh, she's not my mother. She never has been. She never wanted me in the first place. She's one of those people who simply hate children, any children, even their own. I've never loved her, I swear it. I love you. You're not angry with me, are you?
Angry with you? Joanna, my dear child. My dear, dear child.
saeculorum saecula.
Well, what do you think of your precious now, Daddy dear?
I think I have never seen her more beautiful or happier. What do you ask?
The mercy of God and the grace of the holy habit.
Do you ask it with your whole heart?
Yes, my lord, I do.
God grant you perseverance, my daughter.
Waste.
Well, sister? Dame Agnes has been spying on us, has she?
Doing her duty, you mean?
Yes. I've no doubt she would see it that way.
Does it matter, after all, how it came to my attention?
No. I should have had to tell you myself before long. I've grown very fond of Sister Joanna.
And everyone here is fond of her. She's a delightful child. She inspires affection everywhere. I expect she's done that all her life.
Yes. Everywhere but the one place she most wanted to. Don't worry. As soon as I've taken my solemn vows, I'll be out of the novitiate. She has almost 4 years to go. We won't see each other except at services or mass. That'll solve everything, won't it? What's wrong? Am I not to take my solemn vows?
No, you'll be professed as planned the first Sunday of next month.
Per adventum Spiritus Sancti Paracliti, libera nos Domine, in die judici, libera nos Domine, per mortem et sepulturam tuam, libera nos Domine, per sanctam resurrectionem tuam, libera nos Domine, per sanctam ascensionem tuam, libera nos Domine, per
I hardly believe it myself. I feel most peculiar. I've been inside a church for 20 years.
Then it was kind of you to come. Do sit down.
Good job I did come, apparently, or you'd have had no one at all.
I didn't ask anyone.
Philippa. Oh, I expect it's Sister Philippa, is it?
Dave.
Oh. I thought all nuns were called Sister.
Benedictine choir nuns are called Dame. As of today, you see, I too have a title, Sir Richard.
Come on, love, what's wrong?
Wrong?
Well, I don't know much about places like this, I admit. But I do know that taking her final vows is supposed to be a moment of sublime happiness in a nun's life. Well, that wasn't sublime happiness I saw in there just now.
Dear Richard, I never could keep anything from you.
Well?
It seems that try as I might, I can't get rid of Philippa Talbot.
Don't tell me they put you in charge of the whole house already.
I never wanted to be in charge of anything again.
And what have they dreamed up for you?
5 Japanese novices.
5?
Japanese
novices. To do what with?
To make nuns of course.
But why you?
I'm the only one who speaks Japanese. That's how Brede came to be chosen.
Chosen by whom?
A very wealthy man, a Christian, who wants to bring the contemplative ideal to Japan. It's a great honor for a house to have a mission anywhere abroad.
Well, if it's all that great an honor, I should think you'd want to help.
Teaching the Japanese means I must stay in the novitiate. There's a young girl there. Hardly more than a child, really. A very beautiful child. She's called Joanna.
Oh, Phil.
It's very hard.
Of course it is.
I thought I could leave all that behind in London when I came here.
That was foolish of you. You know there's nowhere you can go, nowhere in the world, and leave yourself behind.
That self, that desperate, unhappy self. I hated her.
Oh, don't tell me about it, not me. I loved her. I love her.
You mustn't say that. You mustn't. Today of all days.
Oh, please. Don't look at me that way. I know that face from time past. It's the one that says, help me, and at the same time says, you can't. You can't help me. Nobody can. Well, that puts it squarely up to God, doesn't it?
What do you ask? Anatatachi wa nani o nozomimasu ka?
この修道院ブリードで神の道を学ぶことです。
神の家にあなたたちをお迎えできて大変嬉しいです。お入りください。
それじゃどうぞごきげんよう。どうもありがとうございました。きれいなところね。
It will be enough, we think, for each day's dinner if on every table there are 2 cooked dishes to suit various people's infirmities. Thus, a person who cannot eat of one dish can take his meal off the other. So let 2 cooked dishes suffice for all the brethren. And if there is any fruit or green vegetables...
ほら、すごい原始的ね、これ。これ見て。I'll go and get Dame Philippa. You are. He is. We are. You are. They are.
Very good, Marika.
大変よくできました。そろそろの時間で。また明日、同じ時間まで。ごきげんよう。ごきげんよう。
What did you say to them just then?
That they were excused and that it was almost time for noon.
I waited for you in the tower after recreation.
It was all the time I had to prepare tomorrow's lesson.
I waited for you yesterday as well. And the day before.
I'm sorry.
You've changed.
Changed?
You have. It's no good denying it. Why have you been avoiding me? Why haven't I had a moment alone with you in over 3 weeks?
I've been busy with a new postulant. It's very difficult.
Apparently. Difficult. And utterly engrossing.
Don't be unkind.
Unkind? You dare accuse me of being unkind? You have been deliberately cruel to me.
Joanna, don't. Someone will come in.
I don't care. Let them. Let the whole house come in for all I care. Oh, they all think you're so marvelous. Oh, yes, everyone is talking about how cleverly you've taken over our Japanese sisters and how they do adore you. Poor, naive little things. They haven't learned yet, as I have, what you're really like under that mask of affection and concern.
That's enough.
Tell me, Dame Philippa. Oh, admirable Dame Philippa, how do you say cold, heartless bitch in Japanese?
Get out.
Philippa!
Get out.
No. No, I'm sorry. I didn't mean it. I swear I didn't mean it. You mustn't send me away. You can't. I was hurt. I wanted you to suffer, that's all.
Let me go.
No. No, tell me it's all right. Tell me you forgive me. Mother! Mother, dearest mother!
Let me go.
You are my mother. No, you are.
Joanna, don't. Someone's coming.
May I borrow this? Mariko is going to translate her English lesson into Japanese today. Are you all right, then, Philippa?
Yes, Dame. You are never to do this to me again, do you understand? You are never to speak to me in this way, or touch me, or call me mother. Lady Abbess is the only one in this house to whom that respect is due. To the extent that I've handled all this badly, I apologize. I'm not diplomatic. Life has dealt bluntly with me, and I tend to be blunt in my dealings with people. If my clumsiness has caused you pain, I apologize. But in future, I think it would be best if we refrain from speaking to one another, except when there are others present.
I can't.
You can, and you will.
And if I don't?
Then I shall have to go away.
Away from Brede?
Is that what you want?
No, of course it isn't. I should die if you went. I love you.
Don't love me. I can't deal with your love. I can't cope with it.
I see. All right. I won't bother you again, I promise. You're right, of course. I mean, it's such a bother loving people. It only muddles things. One always suffers in the end. God!
Sanctificata nomen tuum. Saitamanandam cimen. Sanctificata. Sanctificita. Nomen. Nomen. Tuum. 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 Fiat voluntas tua. Fiat vasta.
David.
Elspeth. So that's what you wear.
Until I take my solemn vows, then I'll wear the long veil.
You look awful.
Thank you.
Well, I mean, you look so pale. You've lost weight too, haven't you? Don't they give you enough to eat?
I'm all right. I feel fine this minute. I'm so very glad to see you.
Are you?
I am, honestly.
It's quite a shock getting your note. After all, I haven't had a word from you in almost 3 years.
Well, I invited you to my clothing and you didn't come.
I couldn't. See you in a wedding dress. You knew I couldn't.
You didn't even answer. I thought, oh, well, that's it then. He doesn't want to know me.
Now, look, Elspeth.
Joanna. Sister Joanna.
So, look, I'm up here on company time. My father's in London all this week.
So you're in charge of the business. You've come up in the world.
Why don't you tell me why you sent for me? What you want?
I wanted to see you.
You're seeing me?
I wanted to touch you.
Touch me?
I wanted to remind myself that you really exist. That there really is a David out there who used to love me.
Used to? What are you playing at?
I'm not playing at anything. It's just that I've been thinking about you such a lot lately. About you and me.
There's no you and me.
About how the family's always had us paired off, even when we were little. Everyone thought that we'd get married eventually.
Everyone except you?
Well, my mother certainly did. I mean, wouldn't it be funny if I never had any vocation for this life at all? If I only turned away from you, only came up here to spite her, to spoil the one thing that she ever really wanted for me.
That's rubbish. You know it.
Is it?
Yes, of course it is. You always knew you were coming up here. And it had nothing to do with your mother or anyone else. Something about you, something inside of you, right from the start. You've never done anything out of spite in your whole life.
David, don't be cross. I'm so unhappy.
Well, if you are, I'm sorry. But if something's gone wrong now, don't start making up reasons. And don't try to use me as part of the excuse for leaving if you are thinking of leaving. Look, you're not the sort of person to wake up one morning and say, oh dear, what if I've made a dreadful mistake? That's childish. It's terribly unfair. Especially to people who love you.
I know. I'm sorry. Forgive me.
Now, don't cry. Now, look, it only makes matters worse. Look, you know I could never bear to see you cry. Come on, give us a smile. Elspeth? Oh, Elspeth.
Sister, 早く起きて。Sister, 結婚式よ。Sister, 早く起きて。おはよう。Sister, 早く起きて結婚式よ。結婚式よ。Oh, no silence, dear lady. Very grave emergency. We're getting married today.
Winka. Kadesh day.
You speak very good Japanese, lady. Almost good like my English. You have very good accent.
Poste cadentes positant, hymnosque dulces persona. Te depreciabor laginus nostris adages sensibus, nescire crossus omnia corruptionis vulnera. Laus honor virtus gloriae.
And so, dear mother, I humbly implore you to take my request under advisement. Advisement. She's very fond of using big words she can't quite spell. When does she want to leave?
As soon as possible, apparently, now that her mind's made up.
Have you shown this to the council?
Not yet. I wanted to share it with you, first of all.
Thank you, Mother.
I don't know if there's anything you could say or do that might...
She's very bitter towards me now.
The last time we spoke, she confided to me that she was thinking of joining a more active order. She seems to feel that her true vocation may lie in some sort of missionary work, rather than the contemplative life. If that's true.
It's not true. It's got nothing to do with her vocation. It's me. It's the way I behaved. May I talk to you?
What? With no one else present? You're breaking your rule.
I know.
You're also breaking silence. That was the bell for no.
I'm going to tell you something I should have told you a long time ago. Something I haven't told anyone for years.
Well, I'll start you off, shall I? When I was your age.
All right. When I was your age. Or perhaps a bit younger. I married a boy named Talbot, Anthony Talbot, Tony. Very nice boy, very attractive. We were terribly happy. When the child came along, it seemed almost too good to be true. We called her Joanna. A jolly ploughboy.
What?
It was a song she learned her first days at school. She used to sing it to cheer herself up whenever she had to do anything she didn't like. Going to the dentist, being sent to bed at night. I can remember being quite out of patience with her that morning. Singing at the breakfast table because Nanny had bought the wrong kind of cereal, a kind she hated. I was facing a terrific day at the office. I shut myself up in my study so I could have some quiet and concentrate. I wasn't even aware when she and Nanny left the house. The first morning I can remember that I didn't kiss her goodbye before school.
Don't tell any more.
Nanny swore she'd look both ways. There was no traffic, just a lorry parked at the curb. A car came out from behind the lorry. A marvelous little brain. Crushed to nothing. For 3 days and nights I sat by her bed, calling to her, talking, singing her little song, anything, teasing, begging her to live. Just once, in all that time, just for a second, she opened her eyes and looked at me. A look that said, "Let me go."
Oh, Philippa.
It was the end of Tony and me. A year after we separated, I heard he'd been killed racing a friend's motorbicycle somewhere in Cornwall, dead drunk. It all came down on me then. The guilt.
That was when you found your vocation.
Heavens, no. No, that was years later. Years. No. Work was my religion in those days. I made a holy cause of my job. I had to, but nothing else. When I came here, it was to find something in place of the nothing my life had become. Some ideal of selflessness. God would be all. No need of ever saying, "I love you" to another human being again. And then you came.
Do shut up.
You were so like my memory of that other Joanna. Happy and bright. So much the girl I would have wanted her to be. I thought, dear God, as if she's come back to me.
You were wrong not to tell me.
I couldn't see the point. I knew how you felt about your mother, but it didn't make any difference. I thought, what good will it do if I tell her about my child? We'll just go on as we have, doting on one another, breaking the rule.
Don't you suppose I knew we were doing wrong? Don't you suppose I knew we couldn't go on like that indefinitely? That we had to learn to care less for each other and more for all the rest?
Can we?
We must. It's our duty.
But can we?
We can try.
Yes. We can try.
Whatever's ailing you, go along into the surgery. I'll look at you directly I've finished here. Oh, Dame Philippa.
Good morning, Dame Margaret.
You've come to take over, have you?
I've come to lend a hand.
Do let's be candid with one another. Mother's worried about my rheumatism. She thinks it's time I started training someone to take my place. How will they manage without you in the novitiate?
Dame Agnes is making great strides with her Japanese. Their English is enormously improved. I think Lady Abbess felt a change would be good for me.
Have you ever done this sort of duty, Dave? Have you ever bathed sick flesh, or given enemas, or mopped up somebody else's vomit?
Not really.
Forgive me if that sounds crude, but you must know what you're in for. It's the hardest work in the house, is this. Mainly brush and basin.
It's a good place to start, then, isn't it? Have Have you got another brush?
You take that and wipe where I've scrubbed. It's a pair of old knickers. We don't waste anything in here. When Lady Abbess told me she might be sending you to me, she said, Dame Philippa wants to feel closer to her sisters. Well, there's nothing quite like a thermometer for giving two people a common interest, except perhaps a bedpan.
Hello.
Hello.
I've hurt myself.
How?
A broken plate. I'm in the kitchens this week.
Let me see. Oh, that's very pretty. You've got some infection there. When did you cut it?
Day before yesterday.
Why didn't you come before?
I thought I could look after it myself.
Yeah. See what happens to lies?
All right. I was afraid you'd think I'd done it deliberately. You know, so I could see you.
What nonsense. You are a ninny.
Are you all right?
Yes. Yes, I am. And you?
Yes.
There.
Thank you.
It'll be all right.
I'd better be getting back.
Keep that on for a few days.
Yes. Right. Well, see you around.
See you around.
Accept me, Lord, as thou hast promised, and I shall truly live.
Sama. Beg pardon? It's the title they've taken. Apparently, Sama is the closest thing to dame in Japanese. 4 years since they arrived. 4.5. Is it possible? More and more, I seem to measure out the time, not in seasons, but in the changing of veils. White, black, short, long. And there's another piece of one's life gone by. How quickly we are old, Dame.
You're not old, Mother. I am old.
It's a question of degree. Deo gratias?
Benedicite. Forgive my appearance. We're scrubbing down the whole infirmary, even the walls. I reek of disinfectant.
Your poor hands.
Not poor, just red.
And rough. Nothing like the hands you brought with you when you came.
My 2 helpers are in bed, one with sciatica, the other a strained back.
So you do all the heavy work yourself?
It has to be done, and I don't mind, really.
No, I don't think you do. But I keep asking myself whether we're making proper use of your talents.
My talents? I have no talents.
You have a brain. You have a natural gift for leadership.
That's a faculty I haven't much admired in myself.
You know what I'm leading up to.
Yes, Mother.
The work on the Abbey in Japan is virtually finished. Along with the 5 Japanese, I plan to send 5 of our own. Mr. Katsuki and I have agreed that it may be 10, even 20 years before the house can be run entirely by Japanese nuns.
And someone must go out as prioress to lead the mission.
Dame Agnes has indicated that she would be willing to go if I asked.
I'm sure she'd make a good job of it. She's devoted to Mariko and the others. They've had a really extraordinary effect upon her.
And what about you? You are better qualified, after all. Would you be willing?
I'd go.
You haven't answered.
If you asked me, Mother, I'd go, of course. But to leave Brede now... I suppose it sounds absurd when you think I've been here over 9 years, but... I've only just begun to belong. Really belong. My hope is that you won't ask me.
4 chasubles. 3 stools.
4 stools? There should be 4 of everything.
Sorry. 4. There were 4.
Oh, what are those?
Postulates, dresses, clothing.
Oh, fine. In there. Oh, dear Philippa. Are my Journeyman and my aspirin in there?
Yes. Shall I put them in the trunk?
Oh, no. They're to come on the aeroplane. With us. Some of us have never flown before, you know. 5,000 miles. Better safe than sorry.
I have some brandy in the infirmary if you'd like it.
Is that meant to be funny?
No. Why? Might be useful. St. Benedict allowed a little wine.
That was in Italy.
Right. Sorry.
Dame Philippa, I hope you don't hold it against me that I am in charge of this mission instead of you. I never sought it, you understand? It was just that Lady Abbess felt I was marginally better qualified than you.
I don't hold anything against you, Dame Agnes. The fact is, I'm simply not prepared to leave Brede behind. It works out perfectly for both of us since you want to go.
Do you really think I'm leaving Brede behind? How could I possibly do that? This place is all the world to me. All the world, wherever I go. Brede will be there. I am Brede. The van will be at the front door in 5 minutes.
Very heavy, Jim.
Come along now. Come along. Oh, well, give it to me, then. Give it to me. We'll get it done. Good time. All right, then, Barbara? Yes, Dave. Right. Down we go. There. I want to go back to my cell.
Not just yet.
Where's that doctor?
He's gone. It's very late.
What'd he say?
He thinks it was something minor.
It was a heart attack.
A minor spasm, he said. He'll make some more tests first thing in the morning.
He's either a fool or a liar. It was a heart attack. I ought to know. I've had spasms before, lots of them.
Had you never told anyone?
I couldn't be an invalid. I knew what was happening to me. I said, no, I'll work till I drop. Well, I've dropped.
You'll get up again.
I think so.
I'm sure of it. Close your eyes.
No. Might not open them again.
Just for a moment. Please.
All right. Just for a moment, then. Still there. Still here. I need your prayers, you know. It's true, I opposed you because I thought you meant no good to this house, but
There was more to it than that. I was jealous of you. Jealous of all the things I condemned you for. Your knowledge of the world, your education. You were everything I wasn't. Clever, quick, good to look at. I want you to know I'm not proud of the way I acted. If you knew how often I knelt and kissed the floor of my cell for my lack of charity.
Lie quietly.
Forgive me.
Of course.
Don't believe you.
You never do.
It isn't as if it was a single offense. You can't forgive just like that.
You can, if you love.
Love? You love me.
That surprise you?
It'll kill me, honey. I'm dying anyway.
You are not dying. I won't have it.
You won't.
You might as well know that in all the time I worked in here, I haven't lost a single patient.
Typical business mentality. Mustn't spoil your perfect record, and you dare to say you love me.
Now listen to me, you foolish, obstinate woman. I love you. There's nothing you can do or say, no matter how irritating or wrong-headed, to change that.
If you can love me after all our differences, there must be some hope for you. Somewhere.
I'm sure. If I can love you, I can love anyone. Anyone in this house. Anyone on earth.
I'm being a bit godlike, aren't you? For he so loved the world.
It's not a bad way to be, is it? And you think of all the anger and anguish and hatred out there. It's not a bad alternative.
No. Not bad.
Oh, I'm scared. Oh, no, no. Don't leave me. I must not be gone before you reach the telephone. I must do something. Oh. Oh. You could hold me, if you like. Oh. Oh. Oh.
Listen. They're getting up. All over the house. Getting dressed. Waiting for the first bell. They have the day ahead of them. Oh dear. You're for Japan now. Even in death, I should be making things difficult for you. Please live. I should like to. I should so like to. Oh. Plus.
Didn't you see them? Mariko and the others left them for you.
They'll do for my coffin.
Don't. Please. Please don't. Do you really think I'm leaving Brede behind? How could I possibly do that? This place is all the world to me. All the world, wherever I go. Brede will be there. I am Brede.
Good heavens. You can feel it under your feet.
Dame Teresa said, Mother, all the bells at once. We've never done it before. I said, Dame, we've never had a day like this before. Ring them all.
The cars are ready, Mother.
The great adventure begins.
I should have said continues.
You'll help the others remember that it can't be exactly the same as Brede, and shouldn't be. It isn't ours after all, it's theirs. Everything Japanese style, as Mr. Katsuki said. How I envy you your modern plumbing.
I hope that it'll be just enough like Brede, that in 100 years, our Japanese sisters can go down to the bottom of the garden and turn and feel this unspeakable pride and gratitude, this sense of belonging, not just in the house, in the world. All I lack now is your blessing.
Benedicite. So many miles. So many years.
We'll see each other again. I'm sure we will.
Please, God.
God bless. God bless you. Goodbye, dear Melody. Dame Joanna.
I ought to be sad, I suppose, but I'm not. I'm so happy about what you're doing. I'm so full of joy.
That's exactly how I feel. Pray for me.
Every day of my life.
For all of us.
And you. For all of us.
Goodbye, Dame Joanna.
Godspeed, Dame Philippa.